Hey guys, it's Brent Ridley with the Miracle Mechanical Project, and I'm back. We got a third project. I'm super excited. Guys, Lowe's has helped us out and they've sponsored this project. So we're gonna come in here and take care of a lady. She's a recently widowed lady here in my hometown.
I'm Cagle. I'm 60 years old, and I've been in Cumming, Georgia since 1995. I lost my husband unexpectedly 3 years ago, and things have just been kind of difficult since then.
She has a really old furnace. As you'll see, it's in bad shape. She's got a dryer vent issue out there that's been putting lint and all kind of stuff in that crawl space with that bad furnace. So you talk about fire hazard, yeah, for sure. So we're gonna take care of that for her. We're gonna put her in a new AC too. I wanna thank Lowe's and I wanna thank Mingledorff's and Carrier Corporation for donating the equipment. But come along with us as we take care of this on another Miracle Mechanical Project.
I was married to my husband, Kenny, for 29 years. It was a normal Friday night, a normal Saturday morning. He worked out, he ate his breakfast. We both went down to the office together, and he said, I'm gonna go outside and start splitting the wood. I said, okay, I'll be out there in about 15 minutes to come help you start stacking the wood. And when I walked down there, I didn't see him. And when I went around the corner, I found him slumped over and his head was on top of a log. I hollered for my son and he came running down there, called 911, and me and Hunter tried to revive him, and then the paramedics worked on him for 45 minutes to an hour. But they said it was probably a massive coronary and that he probably passed away before his head even came to a landing on the log. It devastated us.
Absolutely.
I do my medical transcription, and then the pandemic hit and they weren't allowed to do surgeries and procedures in the hospital. They shut all that down for almost a year. So that took me away from my work for about a year straight, and I just really needed the help. I reached out to some of my friends, just told them to keep me in prayer.
This is her major problem that she's got. She's got this old furnace here, probably from the 80s, standing pilot. As you can see, it's been rolling out. So when the flame catches, it rolls out. That's what they call a rollout when the flame comes out here. And it's been charring the side of the cabinet here, rusting everything out, and catching the wire almost on fire. So she's had a real big safety problem here. Not to mention, there may be some issues with carbon monoxide with the heat exchanger, anything like that, but that's okay. We're getting rid of it. We're taking it out for her, putting it in a brand new Carrier 90% two-stage furnace. So by two-stage, that means when she doesn't need a whole bunch of heat, it'll run at a lower capacity. And then when she needs that extra heat on those really cold days, it'll bump up. So we're gonna replace this guy here, and we're gonna replace the evaporator coil there. And it's gonna be fantastic for her when she's done. I think she'll be in so much better shape.
That I really didn't realize the furnace was that bad. And I didn't realize I was having carbon monoxide leaking into my home.
As you can see back here, the flue box is just completely rusted out and rusted through, and it's just fallen to pieces, as you can tell. So she's obviously got some rusted spots in her flue pipe here that you can just push through. It's gotten so brittle over the years. That's extremely dangerous. That's letting dangerous flue gases, carbon monoxide, things like that into her crawl space here when the furnace runs. She's just in pretty rough shape here, so I'm glad to be getting this thing out. I know I'll sleep better at night knowing this thing is not in her house.
Lowe's gave us some turbo shears?
Yeah, well,
man.
we got them.
Well, I'm standing here with a coil and a furnace. This is 2 of the 3 parts that makes up the whole air conditioning system. We'll start with the furnace real quick. The furnace, its first job, obviously, is going to be producing heat. It also houses the indoor fan motor, which distributes air throughout the house, and then also the control systems in here, meaning the control board, and all the controls stem out from here. Moving on, we've got a coil, and then matching the coil is the outdoor unit, which we call a condenser. So how refrigeration works is we have a gas inside of this system called refrigerant, And refrigerant's one job is to change temperature as it changes pressure, right? So we can think of this refrigerant system as having two sides, a hot side and a cold side. To put it in simple terms, our outdoor unit is our hot side, where our heat from inside the house is being released to the outdoor environment. And then inside, the low pressure side of that, we've got a cold coil, which is right here. We pump our cold refrigerant through here. Our fan blows air across it, and that creates our cooling inside. We're gonna go ahead and install these 2 of 3 parts in her crawl space. You ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
So we try to hang it up off the ground so we don't have any part of it touching the ground, so we got no moisture infiltration and whatnot.
Okay. So these are what we call vibration pads. This unit, when it runs, the fan spins and it creates small vibrations, hopefully small vibrations, and this is supposed to kind of absorb all that so it doesn't get transferred from here into the floor, and so she can't feel it. So this is going to keep things really quiet and smooth for her. So we got our furnace and our coil here in place. We got them hung on our threaded rod and our unistrut here, so now we got to make a few connections. And what all that involves is a high voltage connection right here, which is going to power the unit. Also, we've got a few low voltage connections that we need to make, and this is how the unit communicates from the thermostat to the furnace and also to the condensing unit outside. Open that guy up, we'll feed these through. These are our low voltage connections, our communication wires. And that is just about all the wiring that we're going to have to pull into this cabinet here. The last wire that we're going to have to pull out is just a safety wire, and essentially what it is just a drain switch. And if that drain backs up, it'll turn this unit off. So that's it for wiring.
So we had to make a little transition here between our evaporator coil and our supply ducting that was existing in the house. So with that little transition, we have to insulate it, because if we don't, during the summertime, that cool air will start to make condensation and whatnot on the metal ductwork. So I think that'll help her out a lot. We're gonna make sure it's wrapped up good, nice and tight for her.
This is our refrigerant line right here, and this is where all the refrigerant flows from the condenser to this indoor coil here. And we're a little bit short, so we're going to tuck this up real nice for her, make an extension, and weld all this in, or braze it in is the proper term. We've got a few tools to help us do that. We've got this long piece of copper, and in order to make our bend, we're going to use this bender right here, and that's going to give us a nice 90-degree bend right here. And also, we got to join these 2 pipes together. So we're going to use this Hilmar Swedger here, and what that does is instead of having to use a coupling, and braze these, we can expand them, and one pipe will slide right up inside the other one. And instead of having 2 braze joints, that cuts us down to 1 on every single joint that we make. So we're cutting our potential leaks in half by using this tool. We're getting ready to braze this guy together. I got all my pieces sanded and cut to length. What we're going to use here is, we call it thermotrap. This is essentially just kind of a cool gel. I'm going to spray it around the unit so that it can absorb some of the heat from these torches and not burn anything. So let's go ahead and apply it. Let's go ahead and light it. Got my striker here. I'm going to turn on my acetylene just by cracking it. There it is. And we're lit. Turn that up. A little bit of oxygen. And build both until we have a healthy flame. Now I'm going to start with the pipe furthest away from me, and what we're going to do is heat up this female part and get it till it's about orange, and then I'll start heating up the male part, and we'll apply some solder there. Let's see. So we are working on changing out his flue pipe here, and the reason why we're doing this is, one, the old flue was completely rotted out and it wasn't working for her. But also, we went from an 80% efficiency gas-fired furnace up to a 90%. And when we do that, one of the side effects is that is actually the flue on its way out, it condenses and creates drain water. So we need to run it in a PVC pipe here. So that's what Curt is getting started on. So the goal is to maintain pitch from the exterior wall back to the unit so that we can drain back through here and into our pump.
This is another problem she has. As you can see right up here, she has a dryer vent that has been disconnected, and it is terrible. It's putting all kind of lint and dust, and as you can see down here.
I honestly think my husband disconnected it because he got tired of picking up lint when it would blow outside, to be honest with you.
Yeah. With the furnace rolling out, she has a real safety hazard in her here. So we're gonna connect that, remove all this debris and lint and all that good stuff, so she'll be in much better shape once we get done and much safer at the end of the day. We're gonna take care of her washer and dryer issues. Obviously her dryer vent's disconnected in the crawl space, but we'll take care of that down there. But mainly, we're gonna replace her washer and dryer.
I think we bought those like within a month after we moved into the house.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they're pretty old. Probably costs energy and cost savings too for me.
Absolutely. They're gonna be delivering it here today. But we just want to make sure we hook up everything correctly. So her hot and her cold, we want to make sure we get that on the right side, of course. And then we want to make sure we hook up the dryer vent correctly and the gas, because this is a gas dryer. So we want to make sure it's got a drip leg and all those good things for it, so it's good to go, and we'll move them out and put them in. Okay, Carolyn, we got you a brand new washer and dryer. I know you didn't really have any problems out of the other ones, but they were old, and I didn't want them to cause you any problems, especially with all the dryer vent issues you have. So we took care of that. I wanted to go ahead and upgrade you. So we upgraded you to 2 new Whirlpool washer and dryers. Now, speaking with the folks at Lowe's as we went to pick those out, these are their top models for gas dryer, and they're most dependable too. So you're gonna have a long life out of them, and you shouldn't have any problems. So I think you'll like it, but if you ever do have a problem, you can fill out the warranty and send that in, and they'll take care of you. But Lowe's definitely took care of us and hooked us up with this one, and that's awesome.
Appreciate that, really do. I'll use them this weekend.
All right, guys, so we're gonna change out her condenser and coil along with her furnace. Her furnace is the major issue, and it's old as can be, but since we're doing that, we might as well change out her air conditioning too. So we're gonna put in a new Carrier 16 SEER condenser, so she's gonna be a lot more efficient than this old guy here, but I'm excited for it. You know, we're gonna put her in a new pad, level things up, make it look nice and neat. I think she's gonna be in great shape when we get done.
All right, we'll make it pretty for her.
Okay, Miss Carolyn, we got you a brand new Carrier air conditioning system. It's a 16 SEER. What that means is more energy efficient. So your other was a 13 SEER, so this is 16. So we have gone up substantially in your energy efficiency rating. So we're gonna save a little bit of money on the power bill, and it should cool a lot better for you. With this, you get a 10-year parts warranty. And of course, any kind of labor warranty is gonna be covered by us, because we're gonna take care of you forever. Don't worry. When you're part of the Miracle Mechanical family, you're here forever. You can't opt out. You're your family member forever. So we appreciate you and letting us come in here and take care of this for you. But I think you'll be much happier with this. It's going to be quieter, and you're going to be in much better shape.
Perfect. I'm so excited.
All right, so the last thing we're doing here is we're changing out this thermostat. Grand finale, and she's got a Nest here. It's just an older version Nest, and we've got a new one we're going to put on the wall for her. A thermostat in its simplest form is just a switch. This brown one here is going to be our W2, that's our high heat, and this blue one is our common. Once we turn power onto the furnace, this thing will power up, and we'll be ready to go.
Not only did we change out your furnace and your air conditioning, but we upgraded your thermostat. So we upgraded you to a new version of the Nest thermostat. It's a smart thermostat. We picked it up from Lowe's, of course, just like everything else. But you can hook it up to your smartphone, change the temperature while you're sitting in bed or wherever. So it's awesome. And it's got a lot of energy saving features. So combine that with your new furnace and heating and air conditioning, you should see some savings on your power bill and gas consumption, hopefully. So that should be great. But hopefully it won't have too much of a learning curve because you have had that before. So I think you're going to be in great shape.
I do too.
You know, what do these improvements mean to you? You know, how are they going to help you?
Oh, they're life-saving from what I understand.